This is serious. This is a serious look into the history of animals. If you came here for some sort of comedic relief, I don't know why you're coming to this page. I'm just a disaster of a human being who has no idea what he's doing in life. But I feel like I've wandered into something purely by accident. When I want to go to my happy place, I go to a Reddit thread called Bad Taxidermy. And while I was doing some bad taxidermying and having a hysterical laugh, I discovered an image that triggered something in me that went, oh my God, I think I've uncovered something. Now, back in the 15th century, before cameras were invented, we rely on the documentation of other people and the way in which they drew animals or human beings. And I noticed that in some medieval and 15th century art, dogs were drawn really fucking weirdly. It was just like, what the fuck is that? Let me give you an example. That's a dog. That's a fucking dog. No, it's not. Look at that. It's got a human face. The dog has a human face. Oh, it's just weird. Like it's like dogs have they have a little snout, right? And I'm like, hang on, these artists back in the Renaissance times could draw horses so fucking well. Like, you looked at a horse and you went, my God, I've never seen a more stunning depiction of a horse before. So we know that they can draw like snouts and animals. What the fuck is this? Now, part of me went, well, it's just an inexperienced artist. Or is it? Because while I was trawling through bad taxidermy, I discovered this photo of, I don't know what the fuck that cat thing is, but honestly, when you put the cat thing next to the dog thing, I'm starting to believe that maybe some evolution has happened over the last 500 to 600 years, which makes sense. And dogs used to look like humans. Or alternatively, people were fucking dogs and then the dogs were having babies that looked like humans. Look, I'm not saying that's what happened, but how in God's name did that make it through the many, many layers? When you paint something in Renaissance times, you do the sketch and you do the conception works, and then you go, looks great, and then you get your intern to paint it or whatever. This was settled on. The artist went, yep, that looks exactly like the dog there. It's identical. No fucking way dogs like that existed. But then again, I'm like, well, in Renaissance times, right, you look at the family that would have owned the dog. Clearly it's a rescue. Look at it. It's really, the poor thing should be put down. It's a little bit deformed. But that's not a reason to put down a dog. I just think that the king at the time, whose parents were probably brother and sister, was so inbred that was sitting there thinking, oh, saw a stray dog and went, oh, I can relate to that. Look at it, it's hideous. And then brought it in. And it's suddenly now, it's posing for this Renaissance picture. Now, initially I didn't think that, but when I saw the bad taxidermy, I mean, look at it. What the is that? That's crazy. Now, this Renaissance dog is not a one-off dog. Here is another dog. What the is that? Is that a sheep? No, this is a dog. This is documented as a dog in a famous painting from ye old days. Again, it has a human mouth, a human nose, and human eyes. Oh, it's weird. And I just wonder if like Darwin's theory of evolution over the last 600 years has just, we don't breed human-esque dogs anymore. Did human-esque dogs exist? Because again, these aren't the only two weird looking dogs. Who the is Crampette and what happened to her? What has Crampette been eating? Crampette, I mean, is giving Les vibes. Is giving quite butch. I don't know if Crampette is a poodle or a bulldog or what is going on with her. But like, did dogs with small faces like that exist in medieval times? I was like, nah, it's just poor artistry. But then again, when you look at some of the taxidermy, you think, well, hang on, maybe they did exist. Like, Here's garlic. What the f***'s going on with garlic's head? Like, they've nailed the proportions, sort of. It's fat garlic. Well, garlic obviously is named after a clove of garlic. But, like, the head just, it's too, like, I just really, really need to know if dogs looked like this back in the 15th century. Does anyone know? The 15th century dog conspiracy theory lives strongly in my mind. I genuinely believe that these artists painted the dogs exactly how they looked. What's the other explanation? I'm being serious.